one of the most difficult no prep veneer cases of my career. This patient wanted drill-free, numb-free veneers. I explained to her that comprehensive orthodontic therapy with minimum prep veneers would be more ideal. However, we decided to move through with what she wanted in hopes that we could do something minimally invasive, if not completely reversible. So after photography, we went ahead and did some intraoral scans. Here, I'm using the prime scan to quickly go ahead and scan the arches in place. After we get that digital information, we're going to go ahead and do some mod jaw tracing. Mod jaw is a tool that we use, and we track patient-specific jaw motion with this tool. And it's really important for no prep veneers, particularly because you don't want to cause the patient to operate outside the envelope of function. And particularly when you're lengthening teeth, you don't want to alter the open and close path. And so here we can see what's really important to us is getting all this data into exocad so that we could properly design these veneers and make them more adaptable to her specific oral environment and her occlusal pattern. Once we get the designs, we're going to go ahead and throw them into the Midas. I was super excited to have this for 1 week where I did a bunch of units with it. The Midas is a machine that uses digital press stereolithography, a new technology to allow us to print hyper-filled resins. This is 70% filled, and that's just their first iteration of a resin. And I was really fortunate to be able to use this for the first time. And you can see here, we're actually nesting 3 to 4 veneers on each of these little build plates, and that enables us to do her whole entire smile in literally 7 minutes, guys. We had these printed. This is something that I think is going to change dentistry. These better materials are exactly what we needed to be more wear resistant, to be stronger. This is something that is really important to me and to my patients. We were able to print these just 200 microns thick. That is so thin, and actually hand thin them even more to be actually under 100 microns thick. And so here we have right off the build plate with a little bit of trimming of the supports. You can see that's what we're left with. And then after the candy coating technique, which by the way is completely taught at any of our courses, we are able to get an ultra high shine. This involves liquid resin and custom characterization with the hand polish. Here we are at try-in, got the patient's approval, gave us the thumbs up. She was super in love with these. And so the next step here was to rubber dam isolate and go ahead with delivery. I like to use Kerr soft clamps. They're hard to find, but they make it to where I don't have to anesthetize my patients at all. And they're super grippy on the molars. Here we're using Ivoclar's Verilink Aesthetic LC for light cure and HV for high viscosity. And we're gonna go ahead, and I like to deliver all my veneers at once. I don't do, 2 at a time and all that kind of stuff. I find that it's just much easier for me. And remember, we have all the time in the world because this is light cure only. And so if you watch some of my YouTube videos, you'll see this technique dialed in where we use a tiny little veneer tip, which is about 2 millimeters in diameter, to kind of freeze these in place. And then we go to town cleaning everything up before we actually do the polymerization of the resin. And so that's something that I think is really cool. And I also just find that this is a low stress appointment for me because, back in the day when I used to do every 2 units, like I would do the centrals first and then I would do the lateral cuspids, I always struggled. And so here you can see the results. Absolutely a compromise, but the patient's super thrilled with this. This is exactly the smile that she wanted, and meeting the patient where they're at is really important to me in my practice. And hopefully you guys can see this is something that's life-changing, and we couldn't do this without 3D printing.